So I just got back from Summer Game Fest and I need to sit down and record this video right away. I just had the opportunity to play Dragon Quest III HD-2D remake. The embargo is currently a mystery. They haven't told us when we're going to be able to post this. I'm assuming they're going to wait for a Nintendo Direct. So if you're seeing this video, a Nintendo Direct has probably happened. They've probably announced the release date for Dragon Quest III HD-2D. And let me tell you, in a year filled with amazing RPGs, we already had Infinite Wealth, Persona 3 Reload, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. There has been banger after banger after banger in this genre, but this is one more you're gonna have to add to this list. This remake is everything I wanted and more. So first things first, and this really shouldn't be a huge surprise to anybody who's played any of the other HD-2D games like Octopath Traveler, Triangle Strategy, the Live Alive remake, the game is absolutely gorgeous. I just think the HD-2D art style really does find a nice blend between how you remember these games looking back in the day, but also modernizing them with the really beautiful lighting and, of course, the amazing soundtracks. I know I was just talking about the graphics, but let me just do a little side note real quick talking about the music, because for some reason, I don't know why, I assumed this game was just going to be reusing music tracks from the previous Dragon Quest concerts that happened in Japan. That is not the case. This game has a full new orchestration by the Tokyo Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra, and it is jaw-dropping. Even in the first area of the game that I played through, I was blown away by the music, and I cannot wait to hear what it's going to sound like a little bit later on. But bringing things back to the graphical side of things, the game runs in 60 frames per second on PS5, and then gets locked in 30 FPS once you enter graphics mode, and the Switch version is always in 30 FPS. I managed to play both versions at the preview event. I initially did my playthrough on the PS5, and then I switched over to the Switch version, and actually the Switch that they were demoing wasn't even an OLED Switch, it was one of the OG Switches, and it still looked really, really good. I think that's the nice thing about the HD-2D art style, is that it really is going to look great on whatever system you choose to play it on. And while I'm sure I'm going to have footage of the game playing over a lot of this preview video, I also want to splice in just some of the screenshots that Square Enix provided me from the preview event, because man, is the game pretty. I do feel like this is in the upper echelon of the HD-2D games. I think the closest thing to compare this to, just because it's another remake title, is Live Alive, and I feel like this game looks significantly better than the Live Alive remake that just recently happened. Again, not to say that game is ugly or anything, it's clear that they have evolved their craft with HD-2D, and I really think this one rivals some of the really pretty areas in Octopath Traveler 2 and Triangle Strategy. So if you're a fan of any of those games, I really do think that you're going to love the art style of the Dragon Quest III HD-2D remake. All of the monsters and your party members have brand new animations and sprites. The overworld is huge and it's filled with secrets. They specifically said during my preview that it's filled with new obstacles and challenges to explore, so I don't know if that means new boss battles or dungeons or whatever. Obviously, the game doesn't come out until November, so I'm sure we're going to find out more information before its actual release date. But one other thing I want to call out is right before sitting down to record this preview video, I went back and I looked at the initial trailer for the game way back when it was announced like 3 or 4 years ago. The game looks significantly different now. The camera is at like a little angle that makes everything look really pretty and vast. Also, the environments are filled with awesome little details. Just the first little underground well tower area that I explored had little rats running all over the place, and you could hear the drip of water and things coming down the walls. It was just so nice. I completely immersed myself in it. I was playing with headphones when I was playing on the PS5 version, and I was getting completely lost in the world. And actually, while we're on the topic of the audio immersion, another quick thing I want to shout out is the voice acting. I don't know, again, why I didn't expect this game would have voice acting. All the other HD-2D games do, but it does. It has dual language voice acting, so you could listen to the English audio track and the Japanese audio track. I listened to both during my demo. I thought they were both good. I actually did really love the Japanese track though, because it sounded like there were some voice actors that I recognized from different anime that I watched, and in particular there's one old man NPC right at the very beginning of the game who was absolutely giving it his all in Japanese. So yeah, whether you like to play in English or in Japanese, the voice acting is there. And while the game has tons of little quality of life updates that I think you'd probably come to expect from a remake game like this, things like a new UI and new little equipment icons, the thing that I absolutely loved is there's now an optional pop-up map that has little objective icons, so you're not just going to get lost in in this vast overworld. If you're somebody like me who wants to play the game like I play the other HD-2D games, which is have the little marker telling you where to go, you can do that. But it's totally optional, so for people who want that original Dragon Quest III type experience, you can totally remove that pop-up map if you want to. I'm not going to. I want to play with it, but again, you can remove it if you want to. And obviously there's lots of other quality of life gameplay improvements too, so one of the big things that I noticed was it has a lot of the features that the recent Dragon Quest XI-S had, which is like they have an auto battle setting for your party members. So say for example, you want someone to always heal you or you want someone to always attack, you can now set your party members to do that. And it also has the nice thing where you can speed up gameplay as well. So say for example, you're grinding in one area for a really long time, you can't beat a certain boss or a certain dungeon, you can basically crank those battle settings all the way up, and you can even crank up the text settings as well too, which I demoed and tried in my preview, and I was having a great time with it, just beating up slimes at super high speeds. And they've also improved the save functionality as well, so you don't necessarily have to just go to a church to save. There's midpoint saves, the auto save functionality from the other HD-2D games is there, and really they just kept saying time and time again during this preview that they wanted to create the definitive Dragon Quest III experience, and I do feel like based on everything that I've played, they nailed it. I have no doubt in my mind I'm never going to want to go back and play the original Dragon Quest III with all the different things they've added to this one. And one other quick thing I want to note is actually prior to going to this demo event, there were rumors swirling online of this not just being a remake of Dragon Quest III, but actually being a remake of the entire original trilogy. That is not the case. This is Dragon Quest III. However, they mentioned during the demo that apparently it has a refined narrative, that it's keeping everything that made the original game good, but that they're fine-tuning some things. I am assuming that probably means there's going to be some type of story catch-up with Dragon Quest I and Dragon Quest II, so if you're somebody who's just getting into the older Dragon Quest games and wants to experience this for the first time, and again, 3 is kind of universally known as the best of that OG trilogy, there'll probably be some way to sort of understand the story going into it. And honestly, it's not the hardest story to understand. So yeah, overall, I am supremely happy with what I saw of Dragon Quest III's HD-2D remake. I think this is going to be really, really good. And actually, we don't have to wait long for it. It comes out November 14th. That is the perfect time for a game like this. I could see myself cozying up by the fire during the holiday season, having a nice sweater on, putting on headphones, listening to that beautiful orchestral music, and grinding out in some OG Dragon Quest greatness. So thank you once again to Square Enix for having me at this demo event. It was a lot of fun. And let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.